that we will be
coming to
seeing
Dragonflight.
primordial trolls on the Dragon Isles.
And mind you, trolls are the original citizens of Azeroth. That's a fact. Everyone else got the Curse of Flesh, all that. Everyone's come through different ways, but trolls are the originals. Night Elves descended from trolls. High Elves descended from Night Elves. And so on and so forth. Trolls are the originals. They are the originals. Sucks less than Undercity. Thunderbluff is the best, though. There's a Thunderbluff Undercity chat going on here. As long as we can all agree how much Silvermoon sucks, Div, I'll take that back right now. Take that back, you sick fuck. What are you talking about? Silvermoon's one of the best cities in the game. I declare shenanigans. Silvermoon is sad. It's sad because it's great, and it has so much potential. How the fuck do you create a zone and then don't allow flying to anyone? It's because they haven't reworked the zone, and I keep saying they need to do that.
To those
That's
familiar
bullshit.
with troll history, this is actually really big, as these trolls might predate the Zandalar, and we always knew the Zandalar as the original troll tribe, the tribe from
Tauren are
whom the
OG as
entirety of the troll race
Azerothians.
came to be.
I think trolls came before Tauren, to be fair. I could be wrong, but I think trolls were before Tauren. Although Tauren are original Azerothians as well. This is true.
Even the Night Elves and the various Elven variations. This means that we might be getting a
I'm sick of seeing your raids be 7 of... I know, man. I'm sick of it, too. Let's do this. I agree.
huge amount of troll history. Let's
get one more healer.
Just change everything from the root itself. So who could these primordial trolls be, and what will we be seeing in Dragonflight?
Technically, Pandaren are also OG, I think. Pandaren. Did the Mogu come before the Pandaren? I know the Mogu beat the shit out of the Pandaren for a long time. I don't know if they're OG. I mean, maybe they are. Pandaren, Tauren, and Trolls were not part of the Curse of Flesh shit that happened. So, I mean, they were. I just don't know if they predate the Trolls or the Tauren. The Trolls and the Tauren seem more ancient to me as far as races go in the game. Gypsol, oh my god, a Warlock. Thank the Lord. Welcome. Welcome. Thank you for joining the stream and the raid. We need a fucking Warlock so bad.
In your WoW years, but you probably didn't have Squad OE with
Squad OE. There you go, guys.
It records your instances automatically, and you can see your complete
Tauren came from Centaurs, yes.
performance from spell visualizations to
They've had over a
decks,
decade
and best of all,
to add it to
it's free.
Azeroth
You don't
still.
have to do anything but install it, and you can share yours and watch your friend's perspective. So use my
Centaur, half horse, half man. I don't think actually Tauren came from... I take that back. Did Tauren evolve from centaurs, or did they just evolve from cows?
description.
I'd have to check out their lore.
Squad OE. To start, there is overall a pretty big problem in WoW.
I went from having no warlocks to 2 warlocks queue up
General,
within
and that is
a matter of seconds.
Quite a bit of the actual
Bean, just hang
lore
tight.
is vague. In fact, a lot of it is vague. Now, the Chronicle book came out some years ago to
NBN got the lore. He said some guy fucked a cow. Yep.
fix this issue. Then, out of the blue, they decided
I do read lore, but Mogu were alive same time as Pandaren, but centuries old. Yeah, I know the lore of the Mogu and the Pandaren fighting, but I don't know which one came first and whether either of them came before the Trolls. Because we know the Trolls are a very ancient race.
decided to turn this encyclopedia
I was there.
as
Yeah.
a Titan perspective writing, mainly just gibberish propaganda.
They evolved from
meaning that
Cenarian,
most of
okay.
it is probably not true, and that ended up making things even more confusing from lore perspective when you want to actually say something concrete. However, over the various sources, we
Right, Trolls and Tauren. That's correct, Enfro. Trolls and Tauren are native Azeroth. Elves came from Trolls, so I guess they count. Everyone else is Titan creation, exactly. Elves came from the Trolls basically got next to the fucking the Well of Eternity shit. That magic kind of formed them, and they evolved into Night Elves. More magic and shit happened. You had the Sundering, all that, and then Night Elves formed into High Elves, right? And then you have the Tauren doing their thing. There's still some Trolls that are the ancient style Trolls, and then you have all of the Titan creations, which then received the Curse of Flesh and became humans, dwarves. That's why there's still stone versions of all these people. And then you have the orcs that are not even Azerothian. They just came through the portal. They were from Draenor, right? They're not even native Azerothians, so they don't even count when it comes to any of this conversation. Gnomes as well. Gnomes are Titan creations too. Same thing, Curse of Flesh shit. Basically, all of the Alliance except the Elven races are Titan creations. And then the pandas, right? Pandas are, pandas are native too. That's correct. Trolls, Eternal Well, Elves, Mogu Empire, Pandaren slaves. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. What about goblins? I don't know where the fuck goblins came from. Where do goblins come from? If we don't have a healer, I can heal. Oh, we do have a healer. Looks like Trill's coming. We've reformed here.
We do have a decent amount of history.
Thanks for offering,
trolls.
KJ, if that's not you, if Trill's not you.
Pretty much all of them are descendants of the Titanforge.
Goblins were also slaves to the Mogu, I think. I don't know about that. I'd kill Mogu. Goblins are real OGs. You guys just didn't know. We were hiding. We actually own all you all. Goblins.
Evolved in.
I want to say goblins are like a deformed troll race. Maybe that's what it is. Goblins evolved from the Teemo. Cow torn.
Some manner, but there is also
okay, goblins evolved from the Teemo. What the fuck are Teemo?
The troll descendants that have an entirely different story, or so we think at this point in time. Trolls are said to be one of the very first
Kaya stone things.
native races to Azeroth. Now, it is unclear how the native races came to be, as
exterminate them all.
Elementals are truly native to a planet, but from the Well of Eternity, which is the wound of the world soul, one created by the Titans unintentionally, the cycles of growth and rebirth was significant.
Yeah, this is the advancement of trolls and shit. Exactly. Ancient Azeroth, one giant continent. Nien says, much later, 1,100 years before the First War. Oh, she copied and pasted this. A separate centaur civilization arose on Kalimdor. Though legend held that they were a bastard offspring of Cenarius, the centaur of Kalimdor were begotten by Zetar, son of Cenarius, and the Earth Elemental Princess Therod. Oh, you know what? I remember this Cenarius shit and Zetar shit. That's right. This is right. Nien is right here. Yeah, the Tauren evolved after this whole fucking Cenarius and Zetar, son of Cenarius shit happened. Goblins were created by Memoron. Oh, was it Memoron's curse that made them? Fish equals mermaids. What? Person plus fish equals mermaid. The Rock must have been a tough son of a bitch, yeah. He screwed around with Kajamite on various creatures. Mogu were a Titan creation that got cursed. They got the curse of flesh. You know what? You're right. Mogu were, because there are still stone created Mogu. Sorry that we haven't started polling yet, guys. What happened? I invited a healer and he went DPS. Yeah, you gotta fix that shit. Okay, good. Goblins were feral creatures that were exposed to the stones of their island, which made their IQ grow and evolve. Okay, that makes sense. Tauren had a long fight with centaurs. They did. We're good, Sam. Yes, we are. You guys want to finish the video or pull? I'll leave it up to you guys. Finish the video or pull. Mogu was created alongside those cat people that guarded Oldham Orgrim's origin chamber. Yeah. There are still Mogu races that are stone based, so that is true. I completely forgot about that. The Pandaren are probably more ancient than the Mogu. Then they probably are. I love this lore shit.
This resulted in a lot of sentient life forms arising from the wilderness. The most significant of these forms was the troll race.
Yes, the troll race. We know it.
You probably already know at this point, but originally they were scattered in tribes and then they were united under the Empire.
We've watched so many videos on this shit.
The original troll civilization
blah blah blah.
Was and from them, all the various tribes and separate empires arose. Now, why is this relevant to Dragonflight and the most recent news that we have? Well, in the actual announcement trailer, Blizzard told us that we'll be seeing a lot of the new and the old races that we've known from before on this brand new continent. One of these being the Centaur that you're all too familiar with, as well as the Tasca, but they also quite briefly, without too much information, mentioned that we will be visiting the so-called primordial trolls. Personally, this kind of completely flew past me in the original announcement, but when you examine this could have some really interesting implications. The thing is, what does primordial primordial even mean? As I mentioned, originally trolls were in small tribes ruled by the Shadow Hunters. Then they united under the Zandalari Empire, and they were the most dominant force on Kandor.
They were a dominant force, and then they got dominated by every elf race that evolved from them. Trolls have honestly been face stomped on for quite a while. The Zandalari were like the pride of the troll race, right? They were the ones that always were like, oh, you can fuck with trolls, but don't fuck with the Zandalari. And then the Alliance came along and blew up their entire fleet. I feel kind of bad for a lot of the troll races.
For quite a few years, like thousands of years.
Sam, look up Substitution Teacher Kyle and Peele on YouTube. What?
Mega continent. Now,
Substitute Teacher? I love Kyle and Peele, but
this caste system,
I don't know how that fits with this.
So we got the Akari, the Urvashi, the Yamani, and the
What's up,
There
Merns?
was even a tiny
Good
tribe
morning.
of pretty weird-looking trolls called the Dark Trolls that lived in caves that, with the help
The
of the
Dark
Wall of
Trolls.
Eternity, evolved into the Night Elves, and from them we got the various types of elves.
Had sound turned
elves,
off, or we
blood
gonna-
elves, and all sorts of elves.
We'll see if we continue polls. Right now, we're just kind of taking a little break.
All of this
Honestly.
happened ages ago. Trolls are a really ancient race, so we could
Yes,
date
they
this
are.
to maybe 20,000 years ago. Like 15,000 years ago, they faced
It's
off
the
against
AA,
old
oh,
Karakir in a
okay, I
massive,
got you.
super long war across the entirety of Azeroth.
That's
And
where it's
as
from.
you all know, the Dragon Isles were hidden 10,000 years ago. However, on these Dragon Isles, we are witnessing the primordial
your
trolls,
boss's
the
nerve to make you work
Trolls
during
had
working
a
hours.
history for as long before
Fuck
the
it.
Sundering as after the Sundering, so I can see two scenarios with these primordial ones. Either they're related to the Zandalari, which I don't see why that would be interesting, as we already play as the Zandalari. We had an entire expansion about them, or the more like a scenario, we might witness their original form, something we had never seen before. This might be the birthplace where the race was created from. Sure, we know that they came together under the Zandalari banner and evolved further with the Well of Eternity, but
Yeah.
what if not all
I
of
think Suramar was like, you had Night Elves, and then you had like the Suramar Empire. That was a big part of, troll to elf advancement.
them followed? What if a tribe remained back on the Dragon Isles? Now, keep in mind, we still don't know what the Dragon Isles really are or much about them in general. We know that the current approximate location, but we don't know what part of the original continent it was, or whether it really was an isle long ago. But this is the really interesting part. We might be visiting the ancestors to all the trolls and elves, and it could lead to some really interesting scenarios. This could be just like how Ulduar was for the dwarves back in Wrath of the Lich King. This could be the same scenario, but for the trolls and the elves. First,
that would be cool. The Ulduar scenario, right? Ulduar, if you guys remember, really brought us back to the roots of like humans and dwarves, and basically all the races that became races after the Titans created them and they got the Curse of Flesh. So what's really cool about doing this exploration is it would do the same kind of reverse storytelling, but for the trolls and the elves and the night elves. So that's cool. That's a story that we haven't gotten yet.
and the one that I really hope is not the case is that they
Ulduar is the only glory achievement I got.
Titan.
Ulduar was great, and when Time Walking Ulduar comes up, we're going to do a viewer rate of that.
This, in my opinion, would be incredibly boring, as pretty much every single race on Azeroth is some form of a de-evolved Titan Forge that was altered over the course of time. We already witnessed the Pantheon of Death being created from
Except for
prototypes
Yogg, fuck Yogg.
and all those robots, so I really hope the original trolls are not just some type of automatons. What I think could be a lot more interesting is elemental magic and this relation to their primal roots. As was already confirmed in Dragonflight, there seems to be a lot of magic beneath these lands and a lot of elemental magic, primal magic. As you may know, elementals are the most basic life forms on planets. Well, it was confirmed that as the Isles awaken, so do some of the most ancient enemies of the dragons, the so-called Jardine. They seem to be heavily elemental related, and they could also be related to the trolls. Maybe
these guys look fucking badass. This looks like a do you even lift, bro? Right here. Holy crap! No tusks though. You guys see that? No tusks, but man. Those traps, he's got traps for days.
Some of their long-lost cousins, so sort of like an orc-ogre relationship, I think.
That achievement I got in like 2016. That's great, man. Fucking nostalgia for those times.
Cooperate with the dragons, or maybe they bonded with them. Now, I gotta point out one thing though. It is incredibly weird how little connection there is between trolls and dragons, despite them being some of the most dominant races on Azeroth. Well, both of these races being dominant at the same time. Also, we have seen.
You know what else is weird? Like these these dragons, right? They can take any form they want, and a lot of them choose to either be humans or elves. No one chooses to be a troll, right? They get to pick. I mean, they can form into whatever they want. We have like a night elf. I think Yazara, she had like a night elf human form, a night elf humanoid form. We have human forms with Little Sweet over here, Malagos. None of them have chosen to be trolls, though.
Trolls like dinosaurs,
Interesting.
flying dinosaurs, yet they barely have any connection to actual dragons that were all over Azeroth. Now, in regards to the scenario, if it is not elemental stuff, there could be a relation to dinosaurs again, as a popular theory that has been around is that they might be the most ancient of ancestors to the trolls, maybe even some type of lizards, as trolls can resemble them a bit.
Chromie is a gnome.
Sometimes
That's true.
Skin,
Chromie is a gnome, but still not a troll.
In the form of Dinomancers, so this could make for a bunch of really interesting new content. Another interesting bit is that we might finally learn what voodoo actually is. If these are the primal trolls, they might also be dealing with primordial magic, and we might learn what the source of voodoo is, and also where do all the troll traditions come from. It is 100% possible, as the trolls evolved over time, that they just completely forgot about where all their traditions came from. This is most apparent with the night elves that pretty much forgot they were even trolls in the first place. So anything is really possible with these primordial ones, but I gotta say, it is a really interesting new feature. They were pretty much frozen in time for 10,000 years. They might look like the Zandalari, they might even be more humanoid or maybe even less. We don't really know the concept. They could be giants, they could be small, or they might not even resemble trolls at all. Definitely would be exciting to learn more about these primordial trolls. Thank you for watching. Check out what is going on with the Soul of Sageras by clicking on the screen, and check out Doronsmovies Academy for videos on real-world history. See you next time.
No, very cool. I mean, all the troll lore and everything looks like it could be very interesting. I mean, we have there's so much lore coming into, you know, as with any expansion, you get a lot of lore drops that are coming our way. Oh, I didn't like his video. Hold on, let me make sure I like it.
Big news.
Gotta like Doran's shit. But very interesting lore there.